Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host. Thank you for joining us today. In this episode, we're going to talk about something very important for all English learners: how to speak without pausing.
Hi, friends. I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy you're here. If you ever feel nervous when speaking English, or if you stop and pause a lot while you're trying to find the right words, don't worry, you're not alone. Many learners feel the same way.
That's right. Even confident English speakers sometimes pause too much. But today, we'll share easy and practical tips to help you speak more smoothly, with fewer pauses, and sound more natural.
We'll also do a small practice activity at the end so you can try it yourself. By the end of this episode, you'll know simple steps you can start using today to speak with more flow and confidence.
So get comfortable, relax, and let's start learning how to speak English without pausing. All right, Julia, before we jump into the tips, let's first talk about why people pause so much when they speak English. Why does this happen to so many learners?
That's a great question, Jason. There are a few big reasons. The first one is lack of vocabulary. When learners don't know the exact word they want to use, they stop and think, and that creates a pause.
Yes, I've seen that a lot with my students. They're in the middle of a sentence, and suddenly their mind goes blank because they can't remember the word.
Exactly. Another reason is translating from your first language. Many learners think in their native language first, then try to translate into English. This takes time, and while they're translating, they pause.
That's a very common habit. And I guess the third reason is nervousness or lack of confidence, right?
Yes. When people feel nervous, they worry about mistakes or about their pronunciation. This worry slows them down. Their brain is busy with fear instead of focusing on the message, so they pause more.
So, to sum up, the three main reasons are not knowing the right word, thinking in your native language, and feeling nervous or shy.
That's right. The good news is that all of these reasons can be improved with practice. In this episode, we're going to show our listeners some easy steps to fix them.
Perfect. So let's move to our first step: how to think before you speak and plan your ideas quickly. Okay, Julia, now let's move to our first step: thinking before you speak. A lot of people just start talking and then get stuck. Why is quick planning so helpful?
Because when you take a second to plan, your brain already knows the main words you'll use. You don't need to make every sentence perfect in your head. You just need the idea. This makes your speaking smoother and helps you avoid long pauses.
That's interesting. So listeners, before you start speaking, try to quickly ask yourself, what is my main point? Or, what do I want to say first? This can take just 1 or 2 seconds.
Exactly. For example, if someone asks, "What did you do yesterday?" don't try to build a long, perfect answer. In your mind, think, "Yesterday. Went to park. Met friend." Then speak. "Yesterday I went to the park and met a friend." It's simple, but it flows.
I love that. So you're saying focus on keywords in your head, then speak naturally.
Yes, this is called keyword planning. You only plan the key ideas, not every single word. This makes your brain faster and reduces pauses.
And it also helps your confidence because you feel more ready.
Absolutely. Another small tip is to breathe before you speak. Take a quick breath, think of your keywords, then go. It calms your nerves and organizes your thoughts.
Great advice. So listeners, before your next conversation, take 1 second to plan your idea with keywords. It's a small habit, but it can make a big difference in how smoothly you speak.
Exactly. And once you do this often, it becomes automatic and you'll pause less and less.
Perfect. Now let's move to our next step: how to use fillers and linking words naturally to keep your speech flowing. All right, Julia. Now let's talk about our second step, using fillers and linking words naturally. Some people think fillers are bad, but actually they can be very helpful, right?
Yes, Jason. In English, native speakers often use small words or sounds to keep talking while they think. We call these fillers. They don't add big meaning, but they help your speech sound smooth.
Could you give some examples?
Sure, some common fillers are, actually, and let me think. For example, yesterday I went to the park. It was very sunny. This keeps the flow instead of silence.
That sounds very natural. So instead of pausing completely, you fill the space with one of these small words while your brain catches up.
Exactly. But remember, don't use too many. Just one or two is enough. If you say every 2 seconds, it can sound strange.
Right. Moderation is key. And you also mentioned linking words.
Yes. Linking words, or connectors, join your ideas together. They're things like first, then, because, and also, but, for example, and in the end. They help you move from one idea to the next smoothly, so you don't stop between sentences.
Can you give a quick example with linking words?
Sure. First, I woke up early. Then I went for a run. After that, I had breakfast. Finally, I went to work. No big pauses, just smooth flow.
Nice! So, to our listeners, practice using a few fillers and linking words. It's like a bridge between your thoughts.
Exactly. These small tools give your brain a moment to think while still sounding natural and confident.
Great. Now that we know how to use fillers and connectors, let's move to the next step, practicing short sentences first to build fluency. Okay, Julia, now let's move on to our third step, practicing short sentences first. Many learners want to sound advanced, so they try to make long sentences right away. But this can actually create more pauses, right?
Exactly, Jason. When you try to build long, complex sentences, your brain needs more time to find the right words. This often causes you to stop in the middle. Short sentences are much easier to manage and help you speak more smoothly.
So, for beginners, it's totally okay to keep sentences simple. For example, instead of saying, "Yesterday, even though I was very tired, I decided to go to the supermarket with my friend because we needed to buy some food," you can break it into smaller parts.
Yes, you can say, "Yesterday I was tired, but I went to the supermarket with my friend. We needed to buy food." 3 short sentences, no pauses, and it's still clear.
That's a great tip. Listeners, remember, short sentences don't mean your English is bad. It means you're practicing fluency first.
Exactly, and once you're comfortable with short sentences, you can slowly connect them with linking words to make longer sentences. But start small.
So maybe learners can practice by describing their day in 5 or 6 short sentences, like I woke up early, I had coffee, I went to class, I met my friend. This builds confidence.
Yes, doing this every day will train your brain to speak quickly and clearly. Over time, your sentences will naturally get longer and you'll have fewer pauses.
Great advice. So listeners, start with short sentences today. It's a simple step, but it's powerful for your fluency.
Absolutely. And speaking of powerful steps, let's go to our next one, learning common phrases and expressions to keep talking naturally.
All right, Julia. Now we're at step 4, learning common phrases and expressions. Why is this so important for speaking without pausing?
Because when you already know ready-made phrases, you don't have to create new sentences in your head every time. You just pull a phrase from your memory and speak immediately. This saves time and reduces pauses.
That makes sense. It's like having pre-built blocks of language that you can use again and again.
Exactly. For example, instead of thinking, how can I say that I agree with someone? You can just use a phrase you already know, like I totally agree with you, or that's a good point. You don't stop to translate, you just say it.
Nice. So, learning phrases is not only for vocabulary, but also for confidence.
Yes. Here are a few more examples you can use right away. Let me think when you need a second. That's interesting. To keep the conversation going. By the way, to change the topic smoothly, in my opinion, to share your view.
I like those. And listeners, you don't need to memorize hundreds at once. Start with 5 or 10 that you use often, and practice them until they come naturally.
Right. You can even write them on small cards or on your phone and look at them during the day. The more you repeat them, the faster you'll speak without stopping.
So to sum up, memorize some common phrases, practice them, and soon you'll be able to speak more quickly and naturally.
Exactly. And when you combine these phrases with short sentences and linking words, your speech will flow much better.
Great. Now let's move to our next step, training your mind to think in English. Okay, Julia, step 5 is one of my favorites, training your mind to think in English. How does this help people speak without pausing?
It helps a lot, Jason. When you think in English, you stop translating from your first language. That means your words come out faster, and you don't have to pause to find the English version in your head.
So basically, thinking in English is like removing the middle step. You go straight from idea to English words.
Exactly. One easy way to start is to do small inner dialogues. For example, while you're cooking, think in English, I'm cutting the onion. Now I'm adding salt. Now I'm stirring. These small thoughts train your brain every day.
That's a great tip. And listeners, you can also describe what you see outside, or plan your day in English in your head. Even a few minutes a day helps.
Yes. The more you do it, the more natural it feels. And when it's time to speak to someone, your brain is already in English mode, so you speak faster and with fewer pauses.
Perfect. So try small inner dialogues today. It's simple but powerful.
Exactly. Now let's move to our next step, how to control nervousness and build confidence.
All right, Julia. Our next step is a big one, controlling nervousness and building confidence. Why does nervousness make people pause more when they speak?
Because when you're nervous, your brain is busy worrying, will I make a mistake? Will they understand me? This stress slows your thinking. Your mouth stops, even though your idea is ready.
Yes, I've seen this with my students. They know the words, but fear makes them freeze.
Exactly. The first tip is to breathe slowly before you speak. One calm breath relaxes your body and gives your brain a second to prepare.
That's simple but powerful.
Another tip is to focus on your message, not on perfection. People want to understand you, not judge every word. If you stop worrying about mistakes, your speech flows better.
I like that. And practicing regularly, even speaking to yourself in a mirror or recording your voice, also builds confidence over time.
Absolutely. The more you practice, the less fear you feel, and the fewer pauses you make. Confidence grows step by step.
Perfect. So, listeners, try breathing before speaking, focus on your message, and practice daily. Soon you'll feel calmer and speak more smoothly.
Exactly. And now, Jason, maybe we should talk about the common mistakes learners make when trying to speak without pausing.
Okay, Julia. Now let's help our listeners avoid some traps. What are the common mistakes people make when they try to speak without pausing?
Good question, Jason. The first mistake is speaking too fast. Many learners think, if I speak fast, I'll sound fluent. But speaking too fast can make you nervous and cause more mistakes. It's better to speak at a natural speed.
That's true. Fluency doesn't mean speed, it means flow.
Exactly. Another mistake is using too many fillers. Fillers are helpful, but if you say you know all the time, it sounds unnatural.
Right. A few fillers help, but too many are distracting.
The third mistake is forgetting to breathe and think. Some learners panic and keep talking without planning, and then they get stuck. Taking a small pause to breathe is okay, it's better than freezing.
Yes, a short, calm pause is different from a nervous, long pause.
Exactly. And the last mistake is trying to be perfect. When you focus too much on perfect grammar or big words, you stop your flow. It's better to be simple and clear.
I love that advice. So listeners, avoid these 4 mistakes: speaking too fast, overusing fillers, forgetting to breathe, and trying to be perfect.
Yes, if you're aware of these, you'll speak more naturally and confidently.
Great. Now, let's do something fun, a mini practice activity, to help you speak without pausing. All right, Julia, now it's time for a mini practice activity. This will help our listeners start speaking without pausing.
Yes, it's simple and fun. Here's what we want you to do. Pick a topic. It can be anything, like your favorite food, your day, or your hobby.
Once you have your topic, try to speak for 30 seconds without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes, just focus on keeping your speech flowing.
Exactly. You can use short sentences, linking words and fillers if you need them. For example, I love pizza. First, I like the cheese. Then I like the sauce. It's very tasty, you know. I eat it every week.
That's a perfect example. Notice how Julia used short sentences, linking words like first and then, and a filler, to keep the flow.
Right. And listeners, you can practice this every day. Start with 30 seconds, then increase to 1 minute, then 2 minutes. Each time you'll pause less and speak more smoothly.
Exactly. The key is practice every day. Even a few minutes daily will make a big difference in your fluency.
Yes, so grab a topic, start speaking, and just keep going. Don't worry about perfection.
Great! Now, let's move to our final part, motivation, and connecting these tips to real life. All right, Julia, we're almost at the end. Let's talk about motivation and how these tips connect to real life. Why is this important for our listeners?
Because speaking English without pausing is not just about practice, it's about confidence in real situations. Whether it's school, work, travel, or making friends, being able to speak smoothly makes life easier.
Exactly. Think about a job interview, for example. If you speak fluently and confidently, you make a stronger impression. Pausing too much can make you sound unsure.
Or in everyday conversations like ordering food, talking to classmates, or meeting new people, smooth speaking helps you communicate clearly and feel confident.
And listeners, remember, progress takes time. Don't expect to be perfect immediately. Each practice, each short sentence, each phrase, you learn it all adds up.
Yes. Celebrate small wins. If you spoke for 30 seconds without pausing today, that's great. Tomorrow, try 1 minute. These little steps lead to big improvements over time.
So, stay motivated. Practice every day. And remember why you started to speak English confidently and naturally in real life.
Exactly. Keep practicing, stay positive, and soon speaking without pausing will feel natural.
Perfect. Now let's wrap up with our outro. All right, Julia, that's it for today's episode on how to speak without pausing.
Yes, we hope our tips and the mini practice activity help you speak English more smoothly and confidently.
Remember, it takes daily practice, short sentences, common phrases, thinking in English, and staying calm. Small steps every day lead to big improvements.
Absolutely. And listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share it with your friends who are learning English.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and we'll see you in the next episode of the English Learning Podcast.
Bye, everyone. Keep speaking and have fun with English.